Say, bruh, can I ask you a question? Why do you think you were Emmett Till in a past life? I get it. Well, I don't think I'm Emmett Till. I know I was Emmett Till, as a matter of factly. Of all the people, why him? I didn't wake up one day with the thought that I'm gonna decide that I'm a person from a past life. That's not how it happened. Quite the contrary. There are many events that led up to that pivotal moment that brought forth my past life as Emmett Till. It was sort of like a deja vu, like a twin. Sometimes twins instinctively know that something's wrong with their other half, and their other half could be halfway around the world. Or like a mother might know that something's wrong with her child immediately. It was like that, instantaneously, in the blink of an eye, I knew that I was him. And also, immediately, I didn't believe it. I began then to search, and I began to piece it together. Sort of like how Aset, that we know as Isis, put the pieces of her husband, Asar, that we know as Osiris, back together again. I sort of remembered my past lives. That was back in 2018. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever studied reincarnation? No. I don't believe in reincarnation. I don't believe in reincarnation. Why not? Why don't you believe in reincarnation? Because I was taught that when you die, you go to heaven or you go to hell, period. And if you ain't saved, you go into hell. You know what I'm saying? I understand. Most of us are taught that. And I used to believe that too. I used to believe what I was taught about God at one point in my life. Okay, listen, I've seen some of your videos. I see the connections and coincidences that you make. One of the problems I have is, it's one thing to be Emmett Till. It's a completely another thing to think that you are now some pharaoh. Why a pharaoh? Why weren't you some cook? Why you gotta be a pharaoh? That's where you lose me at. Can you explain that part to me, brother? TutemRa. You know, let's have I'm glad that you asked, because most people don't ask me. They just assume. They look at my story, or they might hear about it, and they assume a lot of things. But I actually wrote a book about my story, and if you like, you and I can continue this conversation, and I can tell you more about my story. Is that cool?